Hello, my name is Matt Bixler, and I would like to speak a little bit today about the accounting profession. I'd like to go over some of the big issues that are facing the profession, as well as some solutions to these problems. Now, the accounting profession is very big. Accountants are a major part of the business world. Most people would like to think of accountants as, the numbers people. One area where accountants are extremely important is the finance element of businesses. Accountants have many responsibilities within the world of finance and business. I mean, they're responsible for crunching numbers, analyzing data, and even preparing their organization's financial statements. Another very big responsibility is to make sure that their organization is compliant with all the different tax laws that are in place. Accountants are present in most businesses around the world, and because of this, they make up a very large part of the workforce. Now, unfortunately, there are a few big problems within the accounting profession. One of these problems is that technology is advancing so rapidly and in different ways. New programs are being created. The development of the cloud has been a technological advancement that impacted the accounting profession. Another problem is that, like most people, accountants are not receptive to change. Now, this is an issue because, since technology is advancing so quickly, it requires a lot of change and very often. This makes it difficult to stay current with all the different technologies that are available for accountants and their clients. Ultimately, because accountants do not embrace change, they are more likely to end up, using out-of-date and defunct technology. So, these issues are something that's been built up over time. And, because accountants are not very fond of change, it is easy for them to fall behind in the times when it comes to software and the other important tools that technology brings with it. Our accountants are very stuck in their ways and are hesitant to go off and do something that isn't normal for them to do. This is particularly evident in accountants who have been in the profession for an extended period of time. They were taught to do things a certain way, and they just really don't want to change that. So what do we do about this? What needs to happen? How do we fix this? There's a couple different solutions to these problems, actually. One of those solutions is to have the higher learning institutions develop new curriculum for aspiring accountants. Now, this new curriculum should focus on integrating the new technology into the accounting profession. If accountants graduate college knowing that technology can be helpful instead of being a detriment, they will be more likely to succeed. Another thing that accountants need to do is develop a different type of relationship with their clients. It's important for accountants to have a strong relationship with the people they're working for. It also makes it a lot easier for accountants to become an integral part of the organization. Ultimately, accountants need to change their role in the business world. Instead of just inputting data, and preparing financial statements, accountants need to start becoming advisors to their clients. And by doing this, clients will see the value of accountants and will ultimately ensure the survival of the profession. Implementing these solutions will give the accounting profession a better chance of survival. So if accounting students are given the necessary skills they need to succeed in this new world of accounting, the profession will become relevant again. And when the new accountants are given these skills, they will be able to develop different and better relationships with their clients as well. These two things will, over time, of course, begin to reshape what it means to be an accountant. There are, of course, different ideas about how to fix the problems that are going on in the accounting profession. And one of these biggest ideas is just to resist the change. And there are those out there who believe that if they just sit back and wait, the problems will eventually just work themselves out. They don't feel the need to accept or embrace the changes that technology forces upon them. This is unfortunately just not a viable solution. There are very few things in the world that never change, and the way accounting is done is definitely not one of them. Everything will eventually change, and the old ways of doing things will become obsolete. Now, some small firms and accountants may be able to get by doing it the old way for a few years, but eventually they're going to need to adapt to the necessary changes if they want to stay in business. So what makes these solutions that I gave the most ideal? Well, for one, education is something that can be relatively simple to change. New curriculum can be developed and integrated into the colleges, where accounting is taught. There's actually a big benefit to the rapid advances in technology as well. Because it's getting constantly better, accountants can actually use the technology to get more reliable information and faster. They can then use that information to get better as advisors and analysts for their clients. By utilizing the technology and the information that comes from it, accountants will become more valuable to their clients. And if the clients see how valuable their accountants are, there's a good chance they're going to use them more often while conducting their business. So, final thoughts. As it stands, the accounting profession is still facing a pretty perilous time. Accountants are going to need to adapt to and embrace the changes that are necessary for their profession to prosper. In order for accountants and firms to survive, they have to reimagine themselves and become a new type of professional. It is ultimately the accountant's choice of whether or not the profession succeeds or fails. As long as the accountants in each different organization band together and adapt and embrace the many changes that technology brings with it, the profession will thrive, both now and in the future. Thank you.